Hi. I went to the rifle range where I live yesterday. I went there because I wanted to put a couple of shots of shot through my governor. The governor is a triple caliber ACP long Colt and 410, 2.5. Now, range rules require you to use slugs instead of shot. They don't want you hitting the ceiling. They don't want you hitting other targets. They don't want you hitting the guy next to you. You know, it's understandable. So I called on Thursday, made sure I had some slugs available, how much they cost, blah, 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 blah. And I went there on Friday. Now, Friday is very special. Monday is Veterans Day. Tuesday is Seniors Day. Wednesday is Hunters and Sportsmen's Day. Thursday is EMS and Fire Day. And Friday is Law Enforcement Day, in which those people that fall into those categories on their day will get a 50% range discount. You will not get a 50% discount on everything. So don't think you're going to go there and buy 1,000 rounds of 12 gauge triple up buck. And don't think you're going to go there and buy a Wilson Combat or a Nighthawk Custom. Okay, it only applies to the range fee, but it's a couple of dollars saved. So, and I wanted to do a rental. I didn't bring my carbine. I only bought the governor. I want to do a rental. What do I want to rent? I don't know. Last time I went there, I wanted to shoot the PAR, but I couldn't because it wasn't available for some reason. And the communist AR was there, and I shot that and liked it. And a year ago, I shot the SIG MPX that I didn't like. That came back yesterday too. I'm like, wow, the PAR, give me. I want to try it. I go on the range. Tell the instructor what I got. I said I'm gonna shoot my governor first and call back over to home with the PR. So the shot out of the governor, I'm better off with ACP because the slug rather, 5 shots slug, 2 were on the black, not so great at 5 yards or 10. It wasn't that great. Maybe if I had actual shot, it'd be a different story. The range instructor did say, the range master did say to me that if I come in on a weekday and I pull them aside, the little range where people shoot handguns is usually empty, and if it is, he might be able to seat me in there and let me shoot shot up to the target, like walk up to the target and shoot shot. But when the range is open with everyone there, it's a slug only kind of day. So I took that under advisement, and then I got the PAR out. And I learned from Nothing Fancy's video and Eric and Chad's video how it works a little bit. But just out of curiosity, he gave me the run over how you do it, blah, blah, blah. This is the PAR. The receiver is not an AR-15. And the mechanism is a pump slide action as opposed to a gas, whatever the hell. But pretty much everything else, and the buttstock is a little different. You can get the Battle Axe buttstock, I think, but this particular buttstock is so flat that a regular AR will not allow it to fit over the buffer tube. But I hate collapsible buttstocks, and I had no complaint here. Okay, everything else, magazines, ammo, grips, triggers, sights, rails, scopes, lasers, lights, cameras, action, all that shit. All of that is standard AR. And there's a 308 version available, there's a 300 Blackout version available, and there's a Hunter's camouflage available. Nothing Fancy reviewed it, and he said they should bring this out, they should bring that out, and they probably listed Nothing Fancy. So, and my fingers in my right hand are not that great, so when I try to actually the pump, I'm like, fuck. So I had to actually the pump my left hand instead of my right hand. That's the bad thing. Another bad thing is that I think this is my fault, not the rifles, but there was a double feed thrown in there somewhere, and when I took the bullet out to examine it, the round out to examine it, the bullet had been pushed down into the cartridge, which is obviously not a good thing. I caught it, I threw it away. You know how they have the jar there with loose ammo in it? You find it around on the floor, put it in the can. Guy packs up, he has one more round, he puts it in the can. The range master had 5 extra rounds given me, so 20 round box, 19 good, 1 fucked up, plus 5 is 24. And I'm switching out, shooting. My glasses were actually very foggy and dirty. I had to clean them later on. And I'm like, what the fuck is? Am I in over my head here? And then after a couple of shots, I started getting the hang of it. And I called the target back. It was about 20 yards away. They have the computerized computer. They have the computer there. You type in how far it's got to go. It goes exactly that far. Very high tech. Most high tech range in the county, by the way. I called the target back. One flyer. You'll notice there are a couple of keyholes here. There are a couple of 2 bolts in 1 hole here. Okay, that is on a rifle that I never used before. And there was a guy next to me. No, 1 booth empty, 1 booth with a guy and a girl at it. They were together. The guy was shooting an AR rifle. It ended up being a Smith & Wesson M&P AR with the communist stock on it. And because it has no suppressor or flash hider or compensator, anything like that on there, all you saw was ka-choom, ka-choom. It's like a fucking fire-breathing dragon. I actually walked out of the booth to look at it and came back. So, now this thing has a flash suppressor which is pinned. So if you want to take it off, you got to go to a gunsmith, have it taken off, and make sure the barrel doesn't drop below 16 inches, obviously for legal reasons. But there's no restriction on grip, this, that, and I can put a vertical grip on it, which I might, if I do buy it, I might consider doing that. And I'm telling the instructor, the range master, I'm like, the only question is what do I want? I like both of them, but I think I only have room for one, because, you know, money, ammunition, stuff like that. I don't think I have, but, and this is a very good rifle. And a lot of people are hating on it because Troy made a pump-action rifle to comply with what is definitely unconstitutional restrictions. But let me tell you something. And the range master said because it's not a gas, it's a manual, the bullet stays in the chamber longer and is steadier or whatever. And when I brought the rifle back out to give them back, there was a young kid behind the counter, 21, 22-year-old kid, very young kid. He's like, absolutely. Because I said, it's more accurate than an AR, which it absolutely is. Now, I view that rifle as a specialist rifle. Put that into perspective. Remember History Channel? They had the 3-part series. It's sharpshooters, extreme marksman, more extreme marksman. Well, they had the guy from the auction houses there, David, whatever. He's the world-renowned firearms collector who has shot every gun ever made. And David was in the field. He put a wood cut out of a barn a few yards away. It's not a full-size barn, but you get the idea. And he took one of those old Revolutionary War. He fired a musket ball. The ball hit the ground, bounced up, and hit the bottom of the barn. I don't know. Then he took a rifle. Boom. You've seen muskets and rifles of the period on television in demonstrations. The rifle took longer to shoot, was lighter, more flimsy, more like a sporting gun as opposed to a military gun, and it took longer to fire. One guy would fire 3 shots of the musket, the guy next to him would fire, one guy would fire 5 shots out of the musket, the guy next to him would fire 3 shots out of the rifle. The rifle was a specialist weapon because the musket was a hollowed out pipe with gunpowder in it, and you throw the ball and it hits where it hits. And you have 100 guys lining up, and 100 guys throw 100 balls downrange and whatever. Or you have one guy in the woods with the rifle, and he assassinates the general, the cannon operator, the wagoneer. Okay? There was also an air rifle. I'll put a link down below to a video I saw if I can. This air rifle, it was an air rifle. The buttstock was unscrewed. You have 4 buttstocks that came with the rifle. You unscrew the buttstock. You put sort of like a pipe in it, and you have like a metal slab you stand on, and you do this for about 20 minutes, 1,500 times. Yeah. And it builds up air pressure in the buttstock, and you put the buttstock back on, and you do that 4 times. It takes about an hour and 20 minutes. And I don't know how many shots the rifle can fire before the air pump has to be replaced or refilled rather. But you have a 22 shot tubular magazine. You have a 22 round speed loader. Your speed loader. Drop the 22 in. Click. 1 ball is chambered. Fire. Click. 1 ball is chambered. Fire. Click. 1 ball is chambered. Fire. And that was a specialist weapon. And yes, it was rifled. And yes, it was accurate. And that was the most high capacity assault weapon on the battlefield until what? The BAR in 1918 or the Sturmgewehr in 1944. And this is made in 1780. Then you have in modern times you have the guy with the AR, with the M4, M16, and then you have the sniper with the 338 Lapua bolt. Okay, yes, the rifle takes longer to shoot, but it is a phenomenally more accurate rifle. Okay, and if I were to get it, I could probably buy it, take it home, and spend time racking the pump to get my arm used to maybe to work, or I could get a really nice vertical grip on it, especially a vertical grip that has a light attachment. You've seen those, right? With the vertical grip and the light are the same thing, and I might be able to get used to actuating it. But putting bullets on paper, I cannot tell you how happy I was with this rifle. And I was a little bit pissed off myself that I needed to operate the left hand. That's something I'm getting used to. And I was a little pissed off that I had a double feed, which probably was my fault to begin with. But I cannot complain about the rifle. And on the way out, the guy with the M&P said, "You want to shoot it?" I said, "Oh, try to shoot it." I shot 10 shots out of that. He had a scope with a green dot on it because he can't use iron sights because his eyes are fucked up. He said my eyes are fucked up. I can't use green sights. And the target was way down range, and I don't know where it hit. I didn't call the target back. I don't know where they were hit. But so I got to shoot the communist AR, the communist AR and the PAR together. 24 rounds out of the PAR, 10 rounds out of the communist AR. Communist AR, you just go bang, 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 bang. And even that guy said the communist handle is easier to hold on to. But as far as just, you got to put the bullet on the paper. Yeah. And could you use that for a tactical firearm? Absolutely could. You might have to get used to racking the pump, or in my case, you might want to get a VG and a lot of practice into it, and your arm might get tired or get bulked up, whichever comes first. But you could hold that. Okay, if you had an LA riots type situation where you're on the roof of a store or the roof of your house or the roof of your apartment building, and you've got looters and guys with torches and guys that are, trying to come in and kill you. Let me tell you something right now. Okay, if I'm in a bad mood and I see you with that rifle, guess what? I'm gonna go someplace else to be in a bad mood. Okay, that rifle was not funny at all. Okay, the Troy battle sights, which I never used before, were just as good as Nothing Fancy said. Nothing Fancy said the Troy battle sights, which are like $200 pair of sights, are his favorite AR type sights. And having shot the communist AR with a scope, I didn't like that much, I couldn't use that much. I even set a guy up for irons. Having shot the communist AR that had the Vietnam War style and carry handle sight, having shot the PAR with the Troy battle sights, let me tell you, I'm actually looking. I'm like, am I hitting anything? Am I fucking hitting anything with this rifle? And I called it back, and you saw the results. I will definitely buy one eventually. Probably not today, but I will definitely buy one. I gotta make up my mind. But I'm heavily leaning towards the PAR. Very heavily. 6 pounds. Less things to fuck up. You just gotta get used to having the pump there. And if the rifle will not cycle, there's a button under the pistol grip. Under the pistol grip. There's a button under the trigger guard. You push that button with one hand, wrap the pump with the other, and it will allow you to clear the rifle. God forbid there's a problem. Okay, you gotta go to the bathroom. The guy next got a heart attack. Okay, you have to unload the rifle for safety reasons. That can be done. Okay, that does take a little getting used to. As well as there being no forward assist, no charging handle, but there's no gas blowing in your face, which I really appreciated. Because if you go to the range with a couple hundred rounds, 500-600 rounds, and you're gonna start throwing brass down range, okay, you're gonna start choking on that gas. So I really liked it, and I'm gonna look into getting, if I want to buy it, can I get a VG? I've already talked to my FFL about it. I have a different FFL. He's a retired Yonkers Scout. But yeah, I was at my FFLs buying ammo the day after I fired the Communist AR back in March, and I told him about the Communist AR, the PAR, which I didn't get to shoot at the time. But I would definitely look into it without any question, and I would not feel the least bit help us with it. If you said to me, Vinny, here's the PAR, you gotta stand on that roof, and you gotta make sure that, thugs or terrorists or rioters, whatever the fuck our problem is, don't get through. They won't get through. They won't get through. Believe me, they won't. Even if I gotta switch hands to wrap the pump or whatever the fuck, or work with my left hand on pump and right hand on trigger, if I can do that, one way or another, the bullet's gonna go down range. You're gonna make that hit. Guarantee you will make that hit. Now that's a real world situation. You're not gonna have to shoot a guy more than 20 feet away. If the guy's in your house, he's 20 feet away. If the guy is outside your house, he might not be a threat to you. And I even said this to the range master. I said, because we're talking about how far you can get the bullet out, 400 yards this, bolt action that, semi-auto that, 16-inch barrel that. And I said, in a real world scenario, unless you're in the LA riots, you're not going to be shooting bullets more than 20 feet away in a real world scenario. Unless you're in Iraq or Afghanistan, you got to kill a guy a mile away. But for people on the home front, real world scenarios, your bullet is not going to be fired more than 20 feet away. But if that does come to it, if you do have that situation on your hands where I have to stand on the rooftop with a rifle and I have to convince guys with flaming torches not to kill my family, because they will see that with those sights and with that action, that pump action, no gas to fuck around with, no gas to blow back in your face, just standing clean old pump. Okay, like the instructor said, the bullet will stay in the chamber longer and be more steady. They will see that you can put that bullet wherever you want it. Nothing Fancy said this is a precision rifle. This is a sub-MOA rifle. Nothing Fancy has had AR-15s that cost $2,000 with that accuracy. Okay? Nothing Fancy with iron sights found that rifle more accurate than an AR-15 with a 20 power scope. So, and whatever you think about Nuttin is the greatest guy in the whole world, or Nuttin is the biggest jerk in the whole world. I have heard both arguments about him. However you feel about the Colonel, you got to admit that the Colonel is very, very, very experienced with guns. Okay, the Colonel knows what he's talking about. Okay, he's seen more guns, used more guns than anyone else in this world. Maybe Jerry Miculek has used more guns than he has. Maybe, and that's about it. I think maybe Jerry Miculek, and that's it, could compare to the Colonel with his experience on how many firearms you've used. Okay, that's it. I'm gonna put links down below to Eric's and the Colonel's reviews. You can look at them. Thank you.